Friends, this is your Hector. Today I will explain capacitor energy storage devices slide by slide. Object of lecture describing the construction of capacitor and how to charge stored. Introduction several types of capacitor. Discussion of electrical properties and capacitors. The relationship between charge and voltage and the capacitance. Changing the discussion of the capacitor. Relationship between the voltage and current and capacitance, power and energy. Equivalent capacitance when its set of capacitors are in the serial into parallel connection. Capacitor is commonly illustrated two parallel metal plates in the separate by distance t. Effective dimensions. This increasing surface area of the plates, decreasing space of between plates, and this increasing the relative electrical construction of the insulated between the two plates. Types of fixed capacitor, non-polarized electrical capacitor. This non-polarized become connected circuit either terminals of the capacitor connected into the high voltage sides of circuits. Insulated paper, mica, ceramic polymers. The negative terminals must always between a lower voltage than this positive terminal. Plates is electrodes, aluminum, titanium. Non-polarized. Default to make non-polarized capacitors that store the large amount of charge operating high voltage tolerance capacitance value very large, plus or minus 15 to 25%. 1 or 2 kpf is 1000 kpf. The electrolytic specific symbol in the fabrications. This is electrolytic symbol. This is electrolytic positive and negative pole. This is the internal components: negative charging terminal, positive charging terminal, de-electrolytic paper and metal plate, aluminum and plastic insulating. Variable capacitor cross-sectional areas changes in the one set of plastic are rotated respected others. The MEMS capacitors, mechanical systems that is can be variable capacities change distance between the electrodes. This electrical double layer capacitor also is known as super capacitor, ultras capacitor used high voltage, high current applications. The electrical property of the capacitor act like an open circuit studies of states when the connected AC voltages current sources voltage capacitor must be continuous. There are no observed change the voltage, but there is maybe discontinuous in the current. An ideal capacitor does not dissipate energy, it is take power when storing energy, returns it when discharged. Property of real capacity. The real capacitor does dissipated energy leak of the charges through insulating. This is model putting up the resistance parallel with this the ideal capacity. This is the capacitor. This resistance is putting this is the resistance symbol is given R. C means capacitor. The energy storage charge storage plates is capacitor equations. Farads is a F. Second convention, the second convention used with the capacity same for the power disappointed. When the capacitor release energy back into the circuit, then signing current will be negative. Charging capacity, the Coulombic ripples from the charging already on the plates, creating opposite process limits additional more charges of the plates. Voltage across the capacitor increasing the rapidly charge is moved onto the plates when the initial amount of charge on the capacitor small. Voltage across capacitor increasing slowly, becoming different types of aluminum and titanium plates. Adding charge to capacitors, the amount of charging already is plates of the capacitor, the force voltage driven charge towards the plates and current. Discharging capacitors, this cambric repels some charging already is plates creating force versus something charges. The more charging removed from the plates on the capacitor becomes increasing difficulty get rid of the small amount of charging remain on the plates. The Coulombic reflects decreasing charges substrates on the plates as the amount of charges decreases. The force need drive to the voltages are crossing the capacity, decreasing rapidly charges removed from the plates when the initial amount of the charging capacity is small. Voltage across the slow it becomes difficult for remaining charges of the capacitor. This is current voltage relationship formulas. This is power and energy calculation formula. This is capacitor in connecting on the parallel. This is for the capacitor in parallel combination. The capacitor in series combination connecting. For capacitor in series calculation. The general equations for the CEQ parallel combination and series combination. If V capacitors are parallel, then this is the series of combination is S capacitor series. Then the summary: the capacitor energy storage device and ideal capacity acting like as open circuit. Steady states: when the DC voltage of current has been applied, the voltage across the capacitor must be continuous functions. The current following through the capacitor can discontinuous. This is equation of equal capacity. Thanking you. Tagged out. Please subscribe my channel. Please like my channel. Please comment. Your comments is very valuable for our Tech channel. Thank you once again.